Welcome back to the Runefest Seercast. This is the beginning of part 2, where we are going to mention a lot about the story, the gods, the lore, various quests, basically the stuff we can truly spam about. We're going to go ahead and get started right quickly. Everybody that was in the last part is still here, with the addition of Habblet. I'm not sure if I mentioned him showing up, but he is in the chat.
Hablett never bears too much mention. Boom!
Bazinga. Hablett waves from a distance. But yeah, so Tears of Godhood. We're going to go ahead and get started with that. This was a big reveal that everybody was waiting for at Runefest. And they codified it into 7 different tiers. I'm pretty sure we talked about this a little bit last time, but I'm going to go ahead and put that up right now. I hope that yelling doesn't ensue outside my door. But the tier 7 gods are basically the avatars and the aspects. So the fragments of Tumekin, the avatar of Bandos, etc.
Like spells created by the gods.
Yeah, pretty much. They're not affected by the edicts. And yeah.
They can't grow more powerful than tier 7.
Yep. When tier 7 gods die, they don't get an afterlife because they're an aspect. They're almost like a god spell. Tier 6s are demigods, which are sons or daughters of gods. They have greater than human strength and magic, the ability to open small portals to other worlds, and they are also not affected by the edicts. This is
And before Ivan is just as powerful as Iclarian.
Yeah. Iclarian and Amascut are in this category. You have tier 5, which is inexperienced gods. They have greater strength and magical fortitude, largely affected by edicts, able to shrink or grow. And this is Tumekin, Elidinus, Barimbo, that cabbage thing, and post-Battle of Lumbridge Zamorak, which is really low. Really low.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was not expecting Zamorak to be that low, but I think we talked about that last time. Tier 4 are experienced gods. They can riskily manipulate elements and magic on a large scale. And they're able to open large portals to other worlds, such as, like, moving entire races. Bandos, Armadyl, Tuska, Skargaroth, and Saradomin and Zamorak before Battle of Lumbridge. Both Saradomin and Zamorak before Battle of Lumbridge.
It looks like most gods are centered around tier 3 to tier 5.
Yep. All the gods that we know, pretty much. And, yeah.
And you can see Bandos in that picture there, and carrying his, 8 Bandos god swords?
Which picture is this?
It's in the tier 4 experienced gods picture. You can see him with his mace that has 7. One of the god sword blade was taken off.
Oh, that's right.
So he carries around 7 god swords wherever he goes.
Fun times.
Yep. Cheers. Pick. Okay. Tier 3 is high gods, and they are able to be destructive or constructive on a huge continent-wide scale. They're also able to magically manipulate immortals? Is that immortals, or was that supposed to be mortals?
It's mortals.
It's immortals.
Tier 3, they are able to manipulate immortals?
Shit.
Yes.
Yeah, I can find that one picture that I had of all the god tiers and see what I put in that one.
Okay.
I know, I watched the video, able to magically manipulate immortals or gods on lower tiers.
Okay, that's what they mean. Then gods on lower tiers. So, basically...
Saraderp is apparently Zeros now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Make Bandos
So
do ballet,
guys?
Oh dear. But
Yeah, that's
so basically Saradomin can now manipulate Zamorak, Bandos, etc. Basically the only...
You can't manipulate the player.
So, John A. says that it was canon that Bandos was tier 3 prior to the Chosen Commander. So for at least a short time period, Bandos was the most powerful of the 4 God Wars dungeon gods, although only slightly so. Saradomin is now considered a high god post Battle of Lumbridge. Tier 2 are the transcendent gods. They're able to manipulate life to create mutations of said life. They're also able to escape from its own body to become incorporeal. They're able to manipulate the life force or the anima mundi of the world. And in this category, you do have Guthix, Zeros, and Saren. And I say Zeros with an asterisk because that's once he gets a host. No?
L0r3 soon.
Oh, no, always 2 now. Okay.
Yeah, because they said that he was always holding on to tier 2 with his fingertips.
Yeah, just hanging on right now.
Okay, that's fair. Tier 2 to 6 gods don't get an afterlife. They have an explosion of energy when they die because their spirit spreads out and goes back to the anima mundi. Guthix was speaking metaphorically when he said that he was going to be with his family. They were no longer alive and he was about to die as well. The confusion is in slightly awkward wording. Tier 1 are the ones that we didn't know much about, the Elder Gods. They were able to create life and worlds from nothing. They can create artifacts that focus and retain their own power. They can choose to diminish and power down, and they cannot be killed. So far we know specifically of Jas, Full, and the Freniske Creator God. And Jack says, quote unquote, even if you slept on a bed made of elder artifacts for 1,000,000 years and stole the power of all other less than tier 1 gods in the whole universe, you still wouldn't just naturally rise to tier 1. That isn't to say it's impossible to reach it, but there's no known method of doing so.
Makes sense.
I see.
Anyways, they mentioned a few things more about gods below tier 2, especially Armadil and Bandos, and Lime go.
Huh? Oh yeah. Wait.
Oh yeah, you were gonna do this, weren't you?
Yes, I was. So, firstly, Armadil has 4 sets of wings. And that's like a reference to higher level angels. So like, that's like a parallel so that Armadil is an archangel. So I think that's really cool.
Interesting.
And, what?
I said interesting.
Okay. And Armadil and Bandos, they are polar opposites. They both hate each other because they're both the thing that the other gods despise. And that's going to help a lot. Okay, Kitten. Okay.
Come on.
That's going to be a lot in the World Event 2, and by the way, Bandos is going to be more rounded. And Armadil wants to have peace, but he has been tricked too many times to not fight for his peace. And Bandos likes fighting, so he hasn't been tricked ever, and he will continue to fight for his fighting.
He will fight for his fighting.
Okay.
Okay, Lime. He will fight to fight!
Yo dog, I heard you like fighting.
So I put a fight in your fighting. So you can fight while you fight now. Anyways, yeah. The way that Mod Mark put forth the second world event, which will be between Armadil and Bandos, was kind of strange. Because the way that he kind of made it out to be is like this hatred between Armadil and Bandos that doesn't even completely seem to make sense. I mean, I don't know.
It kind of feels like they've been fighting so long that now they're just fighting because they hate each other because of all the fighting.
But they weren't fighting. But there's no... I don't even remember, aside from the God Wars when everybody was fighting everybody, their races haven't fought each other. It seems like it's just a grudge match between the two gods that we just didn't know about.
Yeah. I don't know, it could be one of those just like pent up hatred sort of things.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe.
It doesn't really seem logical, like, when you really think about it, but...
It's strange.
I mean, it makes sense for Bandos to hate Armadil.
Well, it makes sense for Bandos to hate everybody. But for Armadil to hate Bandos, that's the one that I was really like, that seems like it's lore failing.
It seems like a conflict of ideology.
Yeah, what Mark says explicitly is Armadil is a god that has always believed in peace. He always thought that he could get his way by negotiating with the gods, by bargaining with them, but he has been tricked far too many times. This time he has come back like a phoenix from the ashes, rising up and determined to destroy the gods that don't want to make a world of peace. It's quite strange. He is caught in this world of turmoil. He wants everybody to just get along, but he knows that he has to kill certain people to get them out of the way. One of the people he really wants to kill is Bandos.
I mean, I can see how Bandos is like top on that list, but if he wants to kill everyone that doesn't want all peace, that would kind of be just nuking all the gods.
Yeah,
For maybe Armadillo, and I doubt that he'd go for complete and total peace unless he was the sole dictator.
I don't even know. Like, it's such a strange...
I mean, I think the way it's working is that Bandos would never, ever listen to, like, negotiations. Ceradon's already said that he wants to keep his followers safe. He's doing all of this for them and so forth.
That's what he says.
But Bandos is just doing it for the heck of it. So Armadillo knows there is absolutely no way whatsoever that he's gonna try and find some peace, because all Bandos wants to do is kill people.
Yeah.
So he wants to take that thorn out of his side, essentially.
I guess. Yeah, as Lime said it, he'll be more rounded, or Bandos will be at least. And at the end of World Event 2, Bandos will die. I mean, the loser of the World Event will die.
You don't know if Bandos is gonna die yet. I'm going to withhold judgment until World Event 2. Let's have it.
We just greatly assume that it's going to happen because yeah.
And I guess better late than never. We do have a wild Fangride that appears.
Yes, I was waiting for the proper opportunity to leap in.
Jump in.
Yeah, I kinda forgot to wake up until.
Well done. You and Robo both. It's strange doing the lore part without Robo, but
I know.
I can't wait, and if Robo could be asleep for the next 6 hours for all we know. So
That's true.
I mean, it's kind of weird. I'm usually the one to wake up at 2 p.m.
And you were here early.
Yeah, and I was here somehow at 8 in the morning my time.
Well done.
God. See, I even set my alarm for 11 o'clock, and I don't even remember it going off. It's no longer on, and I was not awake.
That was my alarm.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways,
Yeah.
we're talking about the second world event.
Yeah, I caught that.
So, what I have a personal nickname for this one is Tower Defense.
It does seem like that.
I like
Because-
the name.
because-
Sounds about right.
It sounds like there's a lot of tower building.
See, I'm not sure if we're actually building towers, or if the towers are already going to be there.
Well, it says that you will be able to, well, this is Walter's research. With the caravan content, you will be able to build offensive towers to slow down your opponents. I also assume that there will be defensive towers. And also the gods are building their own massive towers, mass destruction.
Yeah. See, the thing I caught was that we were building golems to war for us.
That too, I am very excited for that.
You just have a thing about golems.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, so I was in a dungeon yesterday with Extra Mariel, and we were doing the statue puzzle, you know?
Yes.
And I came up with this just crazy idea that invention will allow us to build little golems to run around dungeons with us to do puzzles with us. So, like, potentially, say you're doing a 5-man dungeon and one of your guys is off doing something else and refuses to come to the statues. With invention, you can construct a golem to do the puzzle for that person. You know, like, you could set them up for the lever puzzles, and they would pull a single lever for you.
That would be nice.
That'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah. That would be nice.
But that one guy who will always listen when I say 3.
And before banned for botting.
MGT, nobody comes.
Yeah.
Well, the golem. MGT, golem. Doesn't. That'd be great.
Yeah, would be.
It's great until the golem stops listening to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you're just like, oh.
It starts turning against you slowly, subverting your dungeon and hiding your keys.
It's running.
Yes.
It runs you right into the strength door, and you die.
Yeah. Oh man, that
Kicks for failing a strength door. Anyways, PvP is also going to be an optional thing with this world event. It makes sense. I hope that it's not mandatory for every reward.
Actually, they did say that there is some extra things that you can get for doing the PvP. So
Yeah.
I'm kinda curious.
So, Lime versus Geena?
Okay.
Okay, I think Geena wins. But
Hang on, let's think
hold my
about
beer. Hold my beer. I've got this.
Mandatory
Are you
Lime
gonna
picture.
Are you getting pictures?
I'm going to.
Well.
Lime versus demon mobs.
Fine.
Yep. But yeah,
I love
so
it.
this is scheduled for December, so we will see this very soon. It will not coincide with the Fally graphical rework though, so.
Yeah, I was really hoping it would too.
Speaking of that, it's taking place right outside of Falador. And before Falador rebuild was done.
See, what
dear.
I want to know is why the hell are they choosing Falador? Could they be fighting over
Citadels.
Could they be fighting over the Citadel portal?
I mean, that's Armadillo's base of operations.
I felt like it was north of Falador is where they were
Yeah.
fighting.
That's what I
See,
thought.
well,
Too. And then somebody pointed out that it's actually to the east of Falador.
It did seem like they're like Armadale's sort of like post was sort of overlooking Falador. So if they have like two opposing sections, it could just be a complete battle
Over
Through
Falador.
Over it.
just over
Yeah.
it or through it.
I'm wondering if there's something important in Falador, or they just want to fight over Ceradoman's city. That's why I'm confused. Like, why is the god of justice and the god of war fighting over the god of something or other's city?
Order.
I'm making
Technically, order.
terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of assumed that it'd be like Falador Massacre reference, but then again, it's like,
Oh, that would be fun.
And
No,
before PvP fails and Falador Massacre 2.
we don't talk about
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take a look at that picture, this picture with Armadillo in it, and look where he's standing. See them
that. He's standing
cabbages?
right by the emissary. It
Oh
looks
yeah, I
like.
do see that.
He's to the south
That's-
of Falador.
yeah,
there.
that's definitely south of Falador.
Yeah, that's why
Wait.
I'm thinking.
Yep.
So that means
So
he's,
the
Yeah.
ceremony
that means
difference.
he's really close to the clan portal.
Also, he could be like it looks like he's turned towards the Citadel stuff, but then again, I mean,
Yeah.
it just depends on how his character moves and what
Could
kind of
also be
screenshot
that,
that was.
he is defending the Citadel portal, and Bandos is
Bandos is trying to
defending
get it.
something else. And
Yeah.
then they're both, I don't know, we'll have to see how that ends up working
I wonder
out.
if Virago will get involved in this.
I was about to say that. It's like,
dear.
And before
No.
Zeros.
Nobody would win if
No.
he did. He'd just kill them all.
He'd just be like, lol, nope.
Drago
Yeah.
out of the ground and flip the towers, drop them both, and just be like, that was easy. It's like back in the
Yeah.
ground.
Alright.
What I really don't like about this event was that they said that a god was going to die. That just ruins the surprise.
I'm more than happy with that though.
I think it
people
was
have
necessary
all-
though,
I think
because
it's important to know beforehand, because otherwise,
Yeah.
you know, you go into it, you don't treat it as a huge deal, because in the last one nobody died. Why would somebody die in this one? You know?
But they treat all the
But that-
next ones like they're a huge deal.
Yeah.
But there has
And
to
then
be a first
you
one
you
and-
go into the next one and, you know, Bandos loses, and then at the end, he gets killed. Everybody's gonna be like, what the fuck?
yeah, I know. I can see why you'd want to state that explicitly, and it is an important thing to state, because people will do the event differently if they know that the god that they are backing will die if they lose.
It becomes
Yeah.
much more strategic.
It becomes a kind of like, it's not, you're gonna have less, I guess I'll just call them reward whores. Sorry, Walter.
Yeah.
And everyone else for the first one. But I mean, it's true. You'll have less people doing it solely for the rewards, and people doing it in support of a specific god.
But if one of the gods just dies unexpectedly, then they would continue to treat all of the next world events like that, exactly like that. Like their god could die at any moment.
Well,
Yeah.
it depends on how
The other thing I
how
like
it's
about this-
set up, though.
See, the other thing I'm big on is the fact that Missing Presumed Death has occurred in game now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. The end of Missing Presumed Death starts God Wars.
Yep, pretty much.
Hey guys, whoever kills the most gods gets the Stone Age ass. Now, if somebody doesn't die in this world event, it seems really weird because it forces them to slow down the story of Missing Presumed Death.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got
Yeah.
a point.
Because otherwise it's,
Bandos most
oh, you
certainly
know,
could not
one of us
do
could
that.
get the Stone Age ass, but, you know, you scamper on off there, bud. We'll show up later. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
well,
Come on, buddy.
I just I just wish that they didn't announce that a god was going to die, and one of the gods.
It's just, it makes sense though, because if you don't know, it means your strategy is going to be very different.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if somebody knows they have to defend their god from dying, they're going to treat it very differently.
Oh yeah.
As opposed to,
It's
it's Saradomin versus Zamorak, but I'm going to hop around sides because I want both the rewards.
Yeah.
This one, if you're hopping around sides, you better be careful who you end up with, because you could accidentally be contributing to your god dying.
Yep, pretty
I'm
much.
just saying on one side this one, I'm actually going to do more, specifically because I know
My computer's actually going to be fixed during this one. I didn't get a single emote. I got one piece of armor, and then I happened to get another piece from the God Wars dungeon, so I would like to get things this time.
Yeah, I don't blame you. But yeah.
What was really cruel is I was checking out the rewards guy. I had 2 less reward points to be able to buy another piece of the armor. 1 too few.
That's a troll.
There was just this rage in my head, like, you got... And I couldn't even go and get 1 extra reward point, because it was already done.
Yeah, that's gotta love that. We do have Nody Man in the chat now, and Robo Hobo has joined us. I don't know how much he's gonna be, how long it'll be before he talks.
Yeah.
I only heard one word in that.
Yeah. Damn it, Geena.
Which one?
Anyways, I think that pretty much covers World Event 2. We'll have more about that next month, because it will be in the BTS, and if it's not, what are they doing?
Exactly. We'll have information about it presumably next month. Yep. And even if it's not in the BTS, I'm sure we'll have stolen enough information out of JMods.
Yeah. Hopefully they'll start doing live streams again, and we'll learn more stuff about that. They apparently did a silly thing about World Event 3. I took this as a joke. Like, what would it be like if you had Marimbo versus Brassica Prime in a World Event? Like, it's just showing, like, how they...
seriously.
Huh?
People are taking it very seriously in terms of it.
I know it was a joke, but I want it to happen. That sounds like an awesome party.
I actually am really thinking it's going to happen, because they're saying that the end of the world event will create a new crazy minigame that will remain permanent.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yep. I mean, and they even changed the
just,
concept art. They had that warring concept art, and then they went and changed it.
I see it as like just a demonstration on this is what we can do with world events. It doesn't always have to be battles. It doesn't always have to be one god dies. It can be a big party if we want it to be. That's the way I saw it. I didn't see like...
I'm hoping it's a joke, but at the same time...
I'm really hoping it's a joke.
I think it started
I'd like to see Marimbo in a world event, but not Brassica Prime.
Yep, but not with Brassica.
It does not need that much of an effect on the game.
Nope.
There were some threads complaining on it, and I like that they're like, keeping Brassica as a canon character now, because he is that silly part of the game that we don't get as much anymore.
Cabbage.
But a whole world event.
Yeah, I like the idea that he represents those sillier parts.
That's a little much in my opinion. It just...
I think it is my personal theory that this World Event 3 will be released on April 1st.
That's what I was going to say. Because
the
timeline works. We got World Event 1.
The timeline really does work.
Yeah. That's why I think they're serious, is I think this is going to be their April Fool's update. But it's going to last longer than April Fool's.
I can see that.
I think it started like a joke, but then it just became so much more.
Yeah.
So much more. This may not be the worst idea ever.
Exactly. And the fact that they can technically release it on April 1st means that,
Let's do it!
Brassica supporters are going to rage so hard when they realize it's an April Fool's.
Yeah.
Anyways,
no, I do think it's going to happen in game though, and I think they're going to keep it for the entire month of April.
Well, yeah, I can see that, but it's still that still is an April Fool's thing. It's a nice change from the it's a different kind of troll than what they've done recently. I mean, Jag Motion was hilarious, but
oh my god, I peed myself. But oh my god,
Jag Motion was great.
Makes you a massive tool.
Yep.
So good. I rewatched that video a couple weeks ago for no reason at all.
It's great.
It's special.
But yeah, we're gonna move along, cause we need to get moving here.
Let's will be in the chat in a moment. Oh, you're in here. Good.
Yeah, Rite of Passage is we know a little bit more about what it is, but we've already pretty much covered it. Like,
darn it! I was getting all excited. I was gonna leap at it. I'm very excited for that.
It's strange. Like, they're kind of teasing us with it, but it always seems to be less far along in development than we expect it to be.
Like, when they did the podcast about it, it sounded like they were going to have it done in 2 months.
Oh, yeah. And now it seems like it's, middle to late Q1 of next year, which is okay.
And see, I'm curious, what the hell is coming next month quest-wise?
I don't know.
Are we getting another quest next month?
I don't think so.
I mean, if you guys recall, Ahmad Osborne said Cannons, Masks, Feathers, and Crystals are the next 4 quests.
Yeah.
We've got 3 of those.
They also said that they intend to have another quest for the rest of the year, but that was back when they thought that World Gate quest and Rite of Passage would still be this year.
Yeah, maybe.
Well,
I don't think World Gate was ever intended to be
this
this
year.
year.
Ever intended. Well, I'm pretty sure that's Fate of the Gods. I never thought Fate of the Gods was intended for this year.
Yeah. Fate of the Gods is the World Gate quest, pretty much.
When the podcast is about it looked like it could be December, just barely.
Yeah. I mean,
we know
I wouldn't mind if it went over to
Cannons
January
was
4th.
Dwarves, Masks was definitely Missing Presumed Death.
Yeah.
But the problem is Crystals also fits Missing Presumed Death.
Not so much.
Yeah, I think Masks fits
Wait,
better.
where?
Masks is Missing Presumed Death. Guaranteed.
It's obvious.
Feathers would be, Rite of Passage.
Feathers would be Rite of Passage, guaranteed.
Crystals.
In before ElfQuest out of nowhere.
Please.
I mean,
Secret
that would
Elf Quest.
me up, but
That would be insane if they somehow hid an ElfQuest from us for...
yeah. Yeah, that would stun me if they, because remember, they were talking about 200 would be Elf.
Yep.
But they may be doing a smaller Elf quest instead.
Don't know.
Was I the only one extremely pissed off when they talked about Prodifinus and they go, oh, we could release it in parts? I'm like,
Yeah, I was right there. When you
I wasn't.
said that.
I wasn't really mad about that because it wouldn't change anything. It just mean we get it 3 months sooner partially than.
Yeah,
rest
I don't mind it either way, really.
It needs
well,
to be-
don't you dare do it and then leave it alone for a while. Like, if you're gonna do 3 months of Elf content, yes, do it.
Oh yeah, it didn't sound like that was
one
gonna
quest
be
comes
the case
out in
then.
1 month, then the tasks comes out the next month, and then the full city comes out the 3rd month. That'd be great.
Yeah, I'd be fine
But
with
if they
that.
release a small chunk of Prif and then just leave it,
yeah,
I will personally go get into the tank and spot MMT tiny penis.
Oh man.
What?
Which covers one of our sections later. No, not really. We don't really.
Yeah, I figured that in
It
there.
was just a memorable quote.
Yeah.
You can take that so out of context.
It was just a memorable quote. That's really all it was, and it shows that he really doesn't take himself terribly seriously, which is nice.
Still, I still can barely believe he did that live.
I can't believe he did either. But anyways, we're gonna move on a little bit. Talk about the Elder Gods. We knew very little about the Elder Gods before Runefest, and now we know that they're hell-bent on killing all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, my theory is right.
Oh boy. What was your theory?
Yeah.
My theory was that there's a threat I made. It's like the real threat to the world. And it's saying like everyone's always arguing about the gods, just all the different stuff, and it's like, you know what? The Elder Gods are still sleeping. What are they going to think when they wake up and see their perfect world all messed up?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, and Mod Jack says explicitly, they're gonna wake up, and when they wake up, they're gonna find out that it is crawling with critters and monsters and murder and biological entities that they have never encountered before. And they're not gonna be happy about that because it's not what they wanted, and the presence of all these critters is messing with the reason they created Gielinor in the first place. So when they wake up, they're going to want to do something about it, and they're going to want to get rid of all life on Gielinor. The thing about being a Tier 1 god...
You don't die.
And the thing about being a Tier 1 god, period.
The thing about being a tier 1 god is that you can do it.
Can't do it in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, I guess so.
like how
The tiers
they,
are slightly
describe-
misleading because they imply that 4 is a bit lower than 3 and 3 is a bit lower than 2. But a Tier 1 god is much more powerful than a Tier 2 god. Zeros is more powerful than Saradomin, but he's got nothing on the Tier 1 gods. If they want to raise all life on the planet, they can. They can do it in a blink of an eye. and the younger gods couldn't stop them.
I'm terrified to see what will happen with that, because they are definitely waking up.
Yep.
Technically, they could destroy everything except us.
Yep.
And we're the World Guardians, so we've got to...
See, the problem is, though,
step in.
Gothics is not stronger than they are.
Yeah, that's just what I feel strange
us
about.
From his...
Maybe he tied us to the Anima Mundi, and that's why we can't be killed by them, because we're part of the lifeblood of the entire planet.
Yeah.
I
haven't seen a lot of theories about that. Like, he might not have just given us his power, he might have given us the connection.
Well, it's kind of hard to tie someone to the Anima Mundi, because that's what the gnomes are doing. And when you do something that messes with the Anima Mundi, it produces a lot of waste.
But it was Gothics that did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't
This isn't... The gnomes are very much not Gothics.
Yeah.
The gnomes do seem to be Gothixian at some points.
Well, they are. They're technically Gothixian.
But they don't act like it.
Well, some, yeah.
Especially not the Alexandrians.
Well, the ones messing with it aren't. The ones that aren't messing with it are.
Yeah. God.
Like, I'm pretty sure Glock and them aren't Gothixian anymore.
I think they're closer to Zamorakian, and I think we kind of have known that.
Especially since they're out, since the separatist gnomes or whatever allied with the Red Axe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, was I the only one really disappointed that John A's explanation for why the gnomes weren't in there is because Grimdar didn't want to?
What?
I don't even remember that.
Basically, it was in the QA. Sorry. He was somebody asked, what happened to the gnomes, why weren't they in here anymore? And he goes, basically, it's summed down to, Grimdar didn't want to. But it was basically talking about how, once Grimdar, pulled away, the gnomes were forced to leave. But I almost feel like it was kind of a weird story point, because why would Grimdar pull away when he has a massive force of gnomes willing to help him out?
Because he only had...
Maybe the massive force of gnomes isn't anywhere near as massive as we think it is.
Or that...
Oh yeah, I remember a long time ago. I always used to think that, all that, like, some of the quests are all looking like they're gonna start having meet up at one point, and then Johnny is like, nah, well, Hardmer and the gnomes are working together, it's just like a business partnership, they're not like, gonna like...
It makes sense, because that's what dwarves kind of are, they're businessmen.
I admit though, Birthright of the Dwarves, it was a good quest, and it was fun to play, the boss was actually really good. But I feel like some of the story elements got a little rushed.
Maybe.
Especially because of how quickly the quest went through,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess.
Like it was, here's the announcement, here's all the information about it, here's your quest, we're done.
I like the ending of it a lot.
Yeah, I think the ending was great. I'm a little worried about the way the lore went, because I feel like it closed things off very finally, but didn't give a reason for why they were closed off.
Yeah, well, yeah, maybe.
Still, it revealed a lot though, and I liked that, but this isn't about Birthright of the Dwarves, I'm sorry. I have to jump on that.
Yeah. Get back on topic a little bit here. Something we do know about future quests is that the Elder Gods are different. There are 5 of them, and they have very different approaches. They have different personalities, and the way you're going to have to deal with them is going to be individually. You have to go to each one and try and appeal to them, or just try and mess with them in such a way that they stop doing what they want to do. They go from very sophisticated, such as Jas, to very primal, which is apparently the person that we're going to be dealing with next, and we have concept art for the person.
And that's likely Freneske.
How much do we know that?
Because we're going to Freneske.
How did I just get a ping?
That's the World Gate quest, that's where Zeros is.
Yep. We're traveling to Freneske, and we'll be dealing with an Elder God.
Okay, then that makes sense. I guess that's true. The thing, something that's interesting... Because we originally thought they were 2 quests, and I poked Mod Rowley on Twitter, and he said, no, there's only 1 quest, basically, and Osborne confirmed that. Mm-hmm. Yep. The most important thing about these guys is that they're enormous. They're the biggest thing. The biggest thing that they have in the game now is the QBD, and the Elder Gods are vastly bigger than that, and so you can't. They can't even be put into the game as entities. They can't walk around and fight, and because you wouldn't even be able to see one's foot on the screen at the same time, let alone the whole thing.
I made a picture to show how big I think they'd be, or as big as I could show them. I think it could be.
I think I saw this before.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious how we're going to display them.
I don't even think that's big enough. I think it's going to be significantly bigger than that.
What,
if I could have have like the clouds behind it though, or the clouds in front of it.
I almost wonder if they're the continents themselves.
If what?
If they're like the size of the continents on Gillen.
I think it is almost like that. I think they're the size of the land masses.
They could even be the land masses themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was something else I was thinking, like...
Because they are technically on the world.
How's it going to work when they wake up and suddenly our entire continent is water?
Yeah. That's a great point. What are we going to do when all of a sudden land starts disappearing and all of a sudden there goes our building?
I love Lime's comparison to Mod Osborne's face.
Add a large amount of land.
Or remove it. There goes
get that underwater city.
Yeah, God. I was so sad when they confirmed it wasn't happening.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, Robo, Avian Seas.
Yeah.
Suddenly it's still possible. Suddenly.
When was that?
God, it's been like a year since we've talked about it.
No, it's been like 3 years.
3 years? Gosh, no.
It's
only been a year since we stopped running, rather that.
I think it could still happen.
Mm-hmm.
I still kind of want to sit down and write it, but I've time.
Yeah. Maybe when I get done with the marathon.
Yeah. Once my play's over, I can have a little more time. I've been so busy memorizing lines and blocking and crap.
Yes, let's go back on topic.
Yes, please.
Keep moving forward. We've got a lot to cover, and not a whole lot of time.
Talk about Jess being more sophisticated. I wonder if she'd be more willing to listen.
Yeah, it seems like that's what they're getting at. Is that
she seems to be that motherly creator type.
Mm-hmm.
But she's the one who also enslaved the Dragon King
type.
If anything, I think
I will smite you now.
I think Full might be more likely to listen since she's the one who created the Tokarn, so that's the closest thing.
Yeah, and that gives us a kind of way in for Full. Even if she seems like she's more of the warlike type, if the fact that the things that she created trust you, that's a decent chance.
And respect you as well. It's less trust and more respect.
Yeah. Are respectful of us should give us at least, some brownie points with Full.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But Jas, I mean, now that you mentioned it, I feel like Jas would be really pissed off at us.
I think, from what it sounds like, it seems like Jas may be pissed off, but she's the one that would be more understanding-ish.
Yeah, like, we stole her stone, we used her stone, we used lots of other things. We're associated with lots of people that used the stone.
Yeah.
Slisky has the stone. We are the reason that we're the reason that the Staff of Armadillo is back in action. We now are sitting on a lot of the power of the person that broke the sword.
Mm-hmm. we're also using the power of the person who put all these people on this planet.
But it sounds like she's more reasonable with regards to, like, when you think of sophistication, you think of the ability to reason. And so even though we may have made her angry through all of this, I think it's more of a factor that, yes, we have, but she's willing to compromise or willing to even just think about other solutions other than just eradicating life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Whereas
and many of us have killed the person that has the horn.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, just like ask that, but gotta go just a second.
Or had the horn.
Had the horn, yeah. We don't actually know what's going on with the horn.
Ports!
I still think there's going to be like a godly crusade into the east to try and seize the horn.
Well, we'll see.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Two more ports expansions coming up, or another the port expansions coming up.
Ports too.
We talked about that earlier. So.
I really want to see what they do with that, because we're getting 3 new adventurers, aren't we?
Yep.
Habblet says.
Hunter, construction, and cooking. Right?
Yep.
Yep, we talked about that last podcast.
Yeah, we mentioned that earlier. So.
Yeah. 91 cooking, and hunter and construction are my 2 lowest skills aside from divination.
GG.
It's on Bandos's face.
The Elder Horn is on Bandos's face.
We already knew that. Look at it.
Anyways, anything else anybody want to mention about the Elder Gods specifically?
Yeah. The funny thing is, I actually think the Fangride Creator God is going to be the one that's going to help us out the most, because I feel like that might be the one that's responsible for most of the life, because the Elder Gods didn't want life, but Fangride Creator God did work on Gilner.
I think that's completely right. I think she's going to be like, well, screw that. I'm not letting them slaughter everything I made. I'm fighting.
Maybe.
What if the Fangride Creator God did that to troll the other gods? So.
But the life has to come from somewhere.
Like a giant douche that wants to laugh at all the other ones.
So the one thing I do have to ask is, life has to come from somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which Elder God was the one that created life?
We do know that old Majra folklore myth about the Fangride Creator God making the Muspah, so
maybe
whether or not that's actually true, it's just
usually myths have basis in truth. They have basis in fact.
And I mean, the Muspah is a real feature on Fangride.
Yep.
Oh my god. So we know that there's this weird boss fight in Fate of the Gods. Anybody think we'll face down a real Muspah?
Oh, that's true.
Don't know.
That would be really cool.
I used to have this theory that the Muspah were actually the Auspa, the race that Zeros, the Char, the one that Char's from, and that they shapeshifted into the Muspah in order to scare off the Majrat.
That would be really funny. It seems incredibly unlikely, but it's also really funny.
Yeah. Anyways, I think we should probably move on. Along the lines of Elder Gods, we do have to talk about what?
And eradicating all life.
Yeah, we do have to mention the Dragonkin, which are also hell-bent on destroying things. And
at least 6 of them are.
Because of Jazz.
Now we know actually about their hierarchical structure.
There are 12 Dragonkin split into 2 groups with about half a dozen members each. The group that gives into its rage when the stone are used are known as the Necrocertes. The more scientific group that endures the pain while searching for a cure are the Dactyls. The Dragonkin as a whole are approaching tier 5 in power. And they're starting to make use of the Elder artifacts themselves.
Which is terrifying.
Ruh-roh.
If they get their hands on the Stone of Jas and use it themselves, that means they could legitimately get infinite power if they can deal with it.
But that kills them at the same time.
It's true.
It's like, I think the Stone of Jas is the one thing they can't use. Because...
It's so good.
Yeah.
But the fact that they're making use of Elder artifacts is worrying. I wonder if they're the one who has a hold of the horn now.
Maybe. The Necrocertes can't be reasoned with as well. So if you come to face with one, like we did in Missing Presumed Death, they will kill you, or at least try to.
They will burninate you into the ground.
Random Dragonkin Fireball, go.
I actually really like that. I really like that lore reveal, because it suddenly makes a lot of sense as to why the Dragonkin are randomly referred to as Necrocertes, rather than Dragonkin.
Yep.
And the other weird thing is it actually states that it means that the raged Dragonkins were the one that made dragon weapons.
Yep.
Yeah,
rather than
pretty much.
Which was a little strange in my opinion, but, whatever.
Maybe.
They're more warlike. I mean, they said that the Dactyls were like scientists.
That's true.
It sounds like a whole...
Just trying to imagine one wearing glasses.
In my opinion, I think the Dactyls were the ones that made the effigies. But...
It sounds like that whole religion versus science thing.
Oh dear.
The Dragonkin are having.
I
don't know.
Very cool if the inventor skill has a tie to the Dactyls.
That'd be cool.
Would be cool. And if it doesn't initially, it could very well be added when we have some kind of Dragonkin quest.
Indeed.
In before Dactyl wears the skill kit.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Haircut with the skill cape.
The guy that made the Queen Black Dragon is the one who has the inventor skill cape.
Yeah.
Or path,
And
thank you.
for the Dactyl skill cape, is just all the other skill capes smashed together.
Oh dear.
Oh, man.
You
That's
invent a
Kerrigan
new
is
skill
like,
cape.
Oh, that would be hilarious. It's just like the skills cape with the word inventor scrawled horribly on the back of it. Reinvent
No, it's
brand new skill
burned
cape.
in. It's
Take it.
burned in with fire.
Yeah.
That soul weapon thing looks so scary.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I'm so excited to see
It
what they
just
do
needs
with
to be voiced by the demon children from the portals. We already mentioned that though, so.
Souls.
See, I'm actually really curious about the inventor skill in terms of how expensive some of these weapons are going to be, because it looks like we're mashing tier 90 weapons together.
It'll take
Like-
we mentioned this earlier, but it'll take these weapons out of circulation, which then
Yeah.
raises the price of everything, which will
Yeah.
be nice.
Though granted, you can resell these weapons, it seems.
Yes, you can, but
Yeah.
it takes the other weapons out of circulation.
Yeah. Which
Which
means they
are-
better be
acts
raising
as
the
an
drop
item
rate
sink.
on heat. They better be raising the drop rate on sigils and seismic gear. Or
Probably not,
people are going
but
to rage.
Oh yeah,
They will
the
be
way that
unobtainable weapons. Which is a problem because Jagex really seems to like to reuse weapons and other things, only to forget that they're supposed to be used on a different tier and not stupid expensive.
yeah. But
We've
anyways,
already really gone over the inventor skill, but
Yeah,
it
we-
just shows how much we love these ideas and
Yeah.
how we're so excited for them. Like,
And I totally was not here earlier, so I mean,
yes.
oh,
Yeah,
it's one of
we
the
mentioned
things-
this in the previous part. So
yeah.
so let's move along.
so we do have. Is there much else that anybody wants to mention about the Dragonkin? We know we've pretty much just found out that they're doing a quest series based on them, and they're more sophisticated than we might think. That's pretty much
What I do
all.
like is how Missing Presumed Death, they said it was launching one major story, but it really feels like it's launching two.
Yep, gods and
It's
the
launching-
Dragonkin, for that matter.
It's launching them all, in my opinion.
It really is.
The
It
only
really
one-
kind of
The only
is.
one I feel like it's not launching is the Elder Gods. It
It's
had
it's
nothing to do
kind
with
of it's like a teaser to the Elder Gods, but it's not truly
Yeah.
launching it.
Yep. Now, what's really interesting is we know of 5 Dragonkin, right?
Mm-hmm.
From what we know, all of the Necrocerats start with an S. But the Dactyls don't really care.
Or that could just be a coincidence.
It could be
because
Or
all
it's
the
just like a really hilarious coincidence, yeah.
No, well, all of the Necrocyts, Necrostrates were
Zachar,
from,
Sithath,
Necrocertes.
and there's Kuripath and Tarakat.
they're all from years ago, like,
Yeah.
Long Gothic Sleep's era, that was Paul Gower who made them. So they might have had, like, a change of ideology.
Yep.
Never know.
Oh, I'm sure they did, because I don't think the Dactyls were really thought of before. Recently, or at least until effigies at any rate.
Perhaps.
Yep.
Anyways, I think we should probably move on. Just mentioned really quickly about a couple of things that Mod Anna has been up to / wants to work on. She wants 2 more quests in the Myrick series.
Yep.
They're more likely to take an offense against the vampires in the future due to the fact that they have quote unquote Iceline. Walter, please. Icene, they have the access to the Icene power in Cephalon. Blisterwood weapons, and Vanstrom is now dead. Ivan Strom is going to play more of an important role. You're going to see more on Vanstrom's history. Anna wants to go to Draken Castle, and werewolves will get their own quest. Oh, and
And-
Lime.
Am I the only
Dale,
one disappointed
or is
that
it-
they revealed some of Vanstrom's backstory in the most recent at Runefest instead of saving it as a surprise for a quest?
They didn't really go into his backstory. They just said that they were going to.
He was granted some extreme bonus power. That's why he was so dangerous.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, by Draken himself.
Maybe.
And this next sentence is what they all want me to say. L0r isn't as important as people think it is. It isn't the main thing.
Lime, please.
Sorry, Lime. It's okay.
But that doesn't mean that there isn't a secret L0r refinery that's underneath
No,
Morristown.
God damn it,
Like-
Lime.
The first thing I ever posted on the forum over 5 years ago was about how L0r there is a secret L0r refinery.
There might be,
City
but
size,
it's not
massive.
quote unquote
It's
the main
mentioned
thing.
by one of the workers. It's happening.
It is a thing. and we're going to treat it as such.
Walter, I had all of my sources on that thread. All of them.
Yeah, like,
anyways.
I'm very certain something will happen with this refinery, because it is mentioned specifically. Unless they're gonna retcon dialogue out.
In before they do.
Hilarious.
The Splinter Group, I'm not sure exactly what the Splinter Group they're talking about. Anna doesn't want to bring the gods into Mauritania,
I'm pleased about that.
which is nice. It's nice to have a story that doesn't have the gods in it.
Yeah.
Can just get messy.
I actually
really
liked
fast.
how Birthright of the Dwarves treated that too. It was just like, I mean, now that Guthix is back, or Guthix is dead, and the gods are back, things are pretty chaos up there, but we don't concern ourselves with that.
Yep. And in
My
Mauritania,
hope is
it's pretty
maybe
much
Zamorak will have like a tiny effect on it, but
yeah.
it's
In
so
Mauritania,
weak
it
now anyway,
seems like
doesn't
it's
matter.
very much. We have our own problems to deal with over here. We don't need the gods getting involved, so let's not get them involved.
My biggest worry is what the hell are they going to do with the Zamorak, Ceridom, and that group that wanted to break the edicts.
They
They're
all
just like, okay, cool.
went
Now we're gonna
to
kill
the
each
Battle
other.
of Umbridge.
Yeah,
They all died at the Battle of Umbridge.
story-wise, it's completely useless now.
GG.
They
See,
all went.
this is why I legitimately think that the World Wakes quest came a year too early.
2 years.
Yeah, because
I
we
don't
still
know.
needed Floor 61, we still needed an Elf quest, and we still needed another Myurki quest. Because now these 3 series are left in a really weird place in terms of their overall goals.
There's exactly one hole in the Myrique series, and I don't think that's really worth getting bent out of shape over.
Yeah, but like Daemonheim, the whole goal was Zamorak's
Well,
at the
yeah,
bottom.
Demonheim was a big one.
And the Elf series they said that the Runefest before this one, they did say at one point that the Dark Lord was intended to be Zamorak.
Zamorak's everywhere.
Could still be,
Yeah.
but anyways.
So like, those two are kind of running into problems. Luckily, since the Elf never revealed who the Dark Lord was, and since Daemonheim never technically revealed it's Zamorak at the bottom, they still have story.
Yep, technically.
But it's so weird now.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was tunneling to Zamorak, and for a majority of the time it seemed like it wasn't going to be Zami. And then suddenly they released some those last couple of journals, and it's like, well, crap, maybe it is Zamorak.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just so curious. I don't know what they're planning on doing with him.
Well,
I still would really, really love the Dark Lord to be like an anti-Saren that we've never heard of before.
You mean Zeros?
No, Zeros is not yet.
If you look at the concept art, they look really, really similar.
They do.
That's
That doesn't
concept
mean
art. I mean, anti-Saren by ideology.
Yes, but then they went on to say that these similarities were intentional.
Still though.
Watch.
Kerrigan says that Tier 2 gods look similar. Tell me how Guthix looks at all like the Serene or Zeros art.
He doesn't.
Look at. Well, he's very different.
anyways.
Yeah.
This is gonna get into an argument, and ain't nobody got time for that.
Let's see, what's next?
We've actually had a pretty good segue into this. Our next up is elves and Saren. So, I guess if ERNJ and Thorlah want to take this away, go for it.
ERNJ, go.
Anybody
Okay.
go.
So, at Runefest, we got lots of new information about elves, finally. And, they said that, well, we already said this before, that they want it to be the 200th quest, but if they can do the elf quest for the time, like however many quests, we still have left, and they will do it earlier, so I guess that's good to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not
Basically,
pigeonholed
we
into 200.
If we can do it before that, we will. That's great. We already talked about them possibly splitting it up earlier, so we'll see. But I legitimately could not complain if they purposely structured it so we get one thing one month, one thing the next month, one thing the last month.
It sounded like they were doing it over the course of weeks instead of months.
Yeah, I would.
Like it's just like an elf
giant
month.
Because I mean, remember when they did Desert Month like years ago,
No.
Mm-hmm.
where it was just like 3 desert quests and a desert update in a single month.
I wasn't playing then, so
I wasn't either, but I've been praying for something called Desert Month 2 for a very long time.
Well, there's definitely speculation, or not speculation, but they're definitely hinting that they might end up doing something like that. So it'll be interesting to see if they do that.
It was also really pleasing to hear that Rowley has definite plans for where the Desert series is going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we've just gotten, like, even if we haven't gotten a desert quest for years, we have gotten so much desert information recently.
Please,
Anyways,
add
back to
desert
elves.
faction.
Lime, please.
Desert faction.
But yeah, so
I still want a desert faction.
they
Anyway.
did mention that they wanted Prif to become the Varrock of high levels,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
which is
as long as there's not an
interesting.
Elven Grand Exchange.
Okay.
Yeah.
Crystal exchange.
I mean, I can see why it would be. I don't see a problem with the second GE, to be fair.
Yeah.
Like, it's just somewhere else to go, and it's kind of somewhere else for maybe a little bit higher levels to hang out in before World 48.
God.
Wait, I've got an idea. This is gonna be Jagex's process for sure. What if we nerf the actual Grand Exchange so that you can only sell limes, and that the actual that the same purpose as the real Grand Exchange right now was moved to Krypton Us?
Well, see, I was legitimately thinking if they want to add a Grand Exchange. Not limes, but what if they split off content by half? Like, up until a certain level, you can buy things off the Grand Exchange in Varrock, and the high level stuff has to come from the big.
It kills it. Prif Didymus has a quest requirement. They would never do it.
Yeah, I know, that's
they
why
said
I
they
wouldn't
weren't
want
gonna
them to do it.
celebrate.
But like, I almost feel like that would be something they would try to do. And knowing Jagex, they'll release Prif, and there won't be a quest requirement for it, even if it destroys the lore.
I have more faith in them than that.
Everything else is just a flashback. It's okay, guys.
I have more faith in them than that.
Yeah.
Anyways,
They've
That
been
they
saying
keep doing that. The fact that Rowley said that Fate of the Gods is going to have high-level requirements had me almost in tears.
go on, Orange.
Well, they kept saying like, "Oh, we want to give you a nice Grandmaster Elf quest." So I can't see them just stripping over stuff and making it like a novice quest or something.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
they broke the stereotype of novice quests a while ago because they had Birthright of the Dwarves. The requirements in Birthrights of the Dwarves were almost completely irrelevant to the quest, but they were high-level requirements.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, did we use any of those requirements at all throughout the quest?
No.
It's nothing to blow up the cannons.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I came.
Maybe fire making on that too, then, because
There wasn't a
the
fire
hand cannon
making.
works. Well, the way the hand cannon works is the higher your fire making, the less likely you are to.
Yeah,
have
we're
things blow
doing
up, so
we're
potentially
doing an
use that
awesome
for-
job of staying on topic.
I know.
Yeah, no, I'm just sitting here like, what even
With
is
this
an
just
elf
spamming,
anymore?
I just see the chat spamming. Oh my god, we're off topic.
It's turning into like
Elves.
Elves.
So-
Yes.
My next question is, just discussion-wise, how many more quests do you think we're actually going to get in the Elf series?
One.
None.
Sounds
Never.
like one.
Well, the
It's
Elf
like-
series specifically, I'd say one, but they could do other things
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
elves, like 6
Like,
age.
I'm wondering if elves are intended to segue now into the main storyline again, because it seems like once we're done with Perdiphonus, once that's repaired and killed Yor, defeated Yorworth, and gotten Ardoon back to a little semblance of normalcy, there's still a lot of stories to tell, but they could be told in a different medium.
Yep.
Well, I think there will be more elf quests, but this would be the finale of the whole plot line of what we're doing right now.
Yeah, they've
And
stated
especially
that
if
this is the finale.
if the Dark Lord is like a god in some way or shape or form,
Dark
or
Lord is
some-
one of our more popular gods.
some extreme power, even if it's Zamorak. Oh hell, that's actually really funny. I'll discuss that in a second, but it means that the Elf series becomes a larger part of the story, in terms of the God Wars 2. But what if the Dark Lord is Zamorak, and it's how they give him power back to kind of get him back into the game?
Don't know. Might be.
That could be really interesting. So, supporter-wise, like, the Dark Lord isn't actually a person, it's a well of power that was intended for Zamorak. And, in the quest you can choose to, like, give it to Zamorak or Saren or something.
Yeah, maybe. They do mention explicitly though, or they did mention that they would like to do novice content to talk about Saren post-world events. So that kind of, not necessarily even another quest series, but they definitely do want to do additional elf content.
I just keep getting bugged because remember years ago, Arendar was like the secretive place that it was so hard to get into because you had to do the underground pass to even get into there. Mm-hmm. And then now they're like, yeah, we're just gonna let you in. Have fun.
Well, whatever works.
After they removed the requirements from Mauritania, I really want that one last place that you really need quests to get into at all. Mm-hmm. So, I'm more than happy with them doing novice quests that are set outside of Arendar, but I really feel like that area is a good, high-level area to unlock.
I have some ideas.
No, I'm just gonna butt in and, actually, because Walter's been sitting here spamming, being super worried, but the thing I see is they never said that. So, I don't know.
It may have come off that way, but maybe they didn't intend it to.
Yeah.
Who knows? Good point. Anyways, we're gonna keep going, and...
Yeah, holy crap, we've been talking about everything except elves.
Well, actually, we've done a decent job of talking about elves once we started talking about elves.
We didn't talk about Perdinas. We didn't talk about, how it's...
the Heart of Saren, and how that's probably just gonna be a bunch of crystals arranged.
Then go for it quickly. Okay. I don't have all day.
yeah, none of us have all day at this point.
And the Tower of Voices is a giant tree, and
Wait, no, it's Saren's heart.
Yeah, the Tower of Voices itself is a giant tree in which is housed Saren's heart, which is probably going to end up being just crystals arranged in a heart-shaped pattern rather than an actual heart that somehow didn't get shattered, because there's been a lot of talk on forums about it, and Osborne seems positive towards it.
Yeah, well, Kitten brings up, do you want to say it?
Go for it, Kitten. What you just wrote in the chat.
Oh, just what I dumped it. As far as, we can kind of infer at this point, just due to the crystal tree alignment, we understand that it's there, but it's never, I don't think it's ever been said that the Tower of Voices itself is a tree. And I kind of, I really doubt it.
Sure looks like a tree to me. Yeah, concept art too.
Concept art.
The thing is, it could have that sort of structure because nature, but it's not saying that the whole thing itself is a tree and functions the same way as everything else.
This was titled The Heart of Saren.
Has a tree in it.
Yeah, and everything is rootsy and tree-like.
Yeah,
so it seems like it'll be like a giant tree.
It would make sense in the with regards to fantasy elf lore, where the freaking elves, they do stuff with nature bending, I guess I'll call it. I know there's a better word for it that I just totally obliterated, but they warp. Warping is the wrong word because that's negative. They work nature into ways that suits them, that helps them, that whatever. Saren, the last nature bender. Oh,
I'm sorry.
It was such an easy
as long as there's no terrible movie that comes with it, it's okay. Anyways, we're moving on.
In just slight discussion, I'm wondering how much of the city will be crystal and how much of it will be tree. Because we already have a giant tree city.
Hard to say. It's just hard to say at this point.
Depends on what they're throwing into their budget.
Yep. Depends on what the graphics team complains about.
Yep.
But we're gonna move on, and we're gonna head on into our last major section, which is, Zeros. Unfortunately, this is a gigantic section, so we're gonna have to cover this relatively quickly. If there's stuff that we missed, which we probably will, leave a message, do something, just tell us and we'll get to it next time. But yeah, we're so off topic this time.
I see how it is.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to split Zeros.
Yeah, let's just cover the basics of it, not get into anything, and then talk about it next time.
I think that's probably the best way to do it. So
I used to segue into other things. You guys have fun.
Yeah. The Zeros quest is definitely, or they've said that there is a Zeros quest. It is the fate of the gods, and it is Q1 of next year. And so we're looking forward towards that, but there have been a lot of reveals, especially at Runefest, regarding Zeros' origin, Zeros'
empire.
Yeah, his stuff about his empire, his origin, what his train of thought is, stuff about the betrayal.
Just say them all really, really rapidly.
Huh?
Relations of
spoiler in quick order.
Sure, go for it.
Okay. Zeros was born a god. In Zeros' empire, people did not live very well, and Zeros was not particularly liked by the humans. Done. Next topic.
Yeah. There's a little bit more to it than that, but it is, but there's just so much that we have to deal with regards to Zeros.
Wait. Zeros wanted to rule in the shadows. Well, we know this stuff. Zeros wanted to rule in the shadows, but he didn't know that his inner circles wanted to kill him.
Yeah, he trusted his inner circle a little bit too much.
Which is why he's so untrustworthy now.
Yep. And it is interesting that what he said, Jack says that Zeros doesn't care what you said to some person about him that one time. If he needs something from you, what he cares about is whether you will get it done or not.
Yep.
And as we saw from Missing Presumed Death, Zeros still has eyes on Geena-berry. And Geena-berry is very important for Zeros for the same reasons that he isn't talking about. And I'm pretty sure that it's also the same reason that he built his massive empire, because it's been stated that the massive empire he didn't build it just for the purpose of being top dog.
Mm-hmm.
I almost feel like he was hunting Elder artifacts.
But no, he didn't explicitly want Elder artifacts. That much has been confirmed. He never uses Elder artifacts. The most he would do would just lock them up and throw them.
See, that's why I think he was hunting them almost, and that's why he wanted Geena-berry, because that's where they all seem to gather. Or he was trying to kill his parents.
But he wasn't. Does he? We don't even know if he has parents. He was born a god, but we don't know if he was born.
Like, we don't even know if he's human. That's like.
Well, he's not human.
I mean, obviously, because there's like
born a god. That's why I'm saying kill his parents, and that his parents are the elder gods, and to kill them.
I wouldn't say born. I'd say form.
Yeah, I think it's more of a formed kind of thing. Like he.
Okay.
We'll see. This is something that I'm sure they're going to cover.
At some point, Zeros existed.
Yeah, it just goes back to the thing, like, we still don't know what he is, regardless of how many hoodie arguments you can make. But.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
According to the concept art, the original one, he looks a lot like Serene, and that has implications, and the J-mods were apparently spamming that, but that's going back to the Serene topic, so let's get off that.
Yep.
Well, we can mention it and say, yeah, but it may have something to do with the way that tier 2 gods are, or it may just be like, I don't know.
But then there's the argument of Gothics, and I just choose to believe that Zeros and Serene are connected because
Zeros would give Saren a high five.
What was it? There was that lore from before Firemaker's Curse that Zeros was spying on Cryptinos.
Yeah.
So,
I think so.
There might be something between Serene and Zeros that hasn't been quite explored yet, and I'm really interested in that.
If Zeros and Saren team up, I don't know how I'd feel about that.
But I
don't think they're going to team up, though.
I don't think
Zeros isn't trusting of anyone enough to team up with them.
Yeah.
And I doubt Serene would, as ally with Zeros.
I was kind of joking about that. Like, I can't think of any reason why they would team up.
Wasn't
but
Zeros
if for some random reason they did, I would be so confused.
Zeros was like the hunger in the Book of Serene that took over all the land in the area with the World Guardian, right? World Gates, right?
Yeah, like emptiness or something.
They're like polar opposites. Well, not opposites. Enemies. Doctor versus the Daleks grudge match.
You know it.
Yep.
But
I'll take your word for it.
what I do want to say is look at the concept art of Zeros in the future. Look at the hole in him that the staff of Armadillo left.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that they added that. It's a stark reminder, and I'm wondering if Zeros left that. Like, he can leave the body and come back and whatever. I'm wondering if he, like, kind of left that in him as a reminder to himself.
Yeah.
Never to trust too much.
Confirmed Halloween event. We will be gathering small chunks of flesh to fill his hole.
No, please.
Anyways. Can you just imagine, like, the sound that it made, the Staff of Armadyl going through Zeros? It actually, what I said last week, that Captain Zeros has been hit by an iceberg, that's what the noise kind of makes me feel like it would be.
Yeah, don't even Lime, I don't want to imagine this.
Like,
anyone remember, like, at the beginning of the Runefest, they're like, when they only showed his back, they're like, hey guys, Zeros is back.
I love that. That was, I laughed so much.
I would just decide, he's back.
Well, it's kind of what they did with Bandos and Armadyl. Oh, he's back. Yeah. Nothing really came of it, but they're back.
Well, I mean, like, more how, like, the way they said it, like, Zeros is back when they meant Zeros is back.
Well, they said Zeros is back. And, and then they showed a picture of Zeros' back.
Yeah.
And I was just like, you trolls.
I'm sure they phrased it like that first.
Yeah.
Totally on purpose.
Oh yeah, I guarantee you.
Zeros is back. He's back. Why didn't we get anything about it? Boom. Picture
back
of his back.
And it has a hole in it.
Yeah. It is worth mentioning that there is no romance between Char and Zeros. So we can destroy that whole notion right now.
Good. Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
but Kitty, I'm sure Kitty is still shipping Char, Nexon as an Aldra.
Oh dear.
Oh dear God, no,
like
please.
Of the Zoroastrians.
I thought they were trying to make him fight, not whatever that was.
Because she's in love with the god who doesn't reciprocate.
Yeah.
Anyways.
She's like a tragic heroine, except she's not.
This is not a dating site?
Yeah, this is not a dating site.
That's all I have to say.
All damn romances.
I like what, was it Jack that said this? Zeros might have feelings towards one of the gods, but they aren't going to say which or why. All they would say is that he might high-five them.
Yep, there was Jack.
And before Zeros is crushing on Serene.
No, not Saren.
No, please.
I think Zeros has a huge thing for Brassic Prime.
No.
How about
no?
Anyways,
okay.
Moving along.
Can we just agree on, like, no more gross fan fiction?
No, it's absolutely, yeah, we're gonna just note that out.
Fanfic about cabbage.
No!
How about not?
No.
Okay,
no. I'm just gonna butt in and say no.
No.
I'm sorry, but no.
It'll pop up in the clan forums within the hour.
No.
Well, that topic's gonna get erased. Calling it now.
Yeah. I mean, I like that they brought that, like, the Gothic Saren romance, but I don't think we need to go further than that.
No, we really don't.
They're the only two that even have a reasonable connection.
Yep.
Yeah.
Zeros was freaking at war with everyone.
Zeros is Rome.
Sort of.
I feel like maybe he would high-five Armadyl.
I feel like
it's one
he
of my
probably
notes,
would,
they were
but...
talking
Yeah, it's an interesting point. Because I feel like the two of them, even if they don't agree on the way things run, like, they have similar ideology in terms of the way they want to treat things. Especially now that Armadil's gonna start getting violent.
Yeah, they want things to be settled. And
yeah. They just want things to be over.
Yeah.
Even if I really dislike Zeros, the fact that they both are kind of aiming for peace in different ways would certainly give them a reason to at least respect each other.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, before I forget this, apparently Azanadra in the Zerosian Empire was like a governor, which may explain his lack of epic voice in Missing Presumed Death.
Yeah.
He wasn't like a warrior to begin with. He just like governed crap.
I mean, that's where a lot of the generals come from, though, is they start, because it's managing, being a good general is managing your troops.
Yeah.
And
understanding their strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah, and that comes from often being a politician.
Well, normally it's the other way around. Generals retire into becoming governors, or stuff like that.
He slaps the Roth. Walter wants us to stop lore failing, so we'll mention that Azzy's title has never been given. We don't know if he was a governor. It's been kind of hinted, but we don't know what his role was exactly. But it seems like it is governor-ish.
They did say he is going to be the Majra leader when Zeros comes back, though. That's also a note.
Well, I mean, that much we've kind of figured out up to this point anyway, though, because
what does that say about Slisk?
Slisky's never been the leader.
Well, I mean, he killed Guthix, and everybody else is like, well, if he killed Guthix, he's automatically getting promoted. So.
But Zeros didn't necessarily want Guthix dead.
Oh, yeah. I'm just wondering what they're going to do about him, since that's also part of it.
I feel like Zeros is not going to be trusting of Slisky at all.
I don't think so either.
I think Zeros is going to come back.
Does anybody?
All these Elder artifacts and be like, bitch, you're gonna die.
Pretty much.
But does anybody trust Slisky at this point? I don't think so. So that's...
But
I don't think he trusts himself.
If Slisky's motivations are actually to help Zeros or not. Because if they are, he's going about it in a very poor way.
I think he's just kind of doing it where it's like, if I enjoy it, it's good, and if it helps him, that's fine. But that's about it.
Yeah, he's weird right now. I mean, I like that there's mystery behind his aspirations, but at the same time, Jagex
he's lost it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Jagex is really setting up a bunch of stuff where it's like, yeah, he's just kind of the guy that we get laughs out of now, even if he's really evil.
He's good for a couple laughs.
Good for a couple laughs.
See?
Oh man. Anyways, let's see here. Is there anything else anybody wants to mention explicitly about Zeros? I'm kind of going through the thread and seeing what we haven't mentioned.
I feel like my section got Zeros.
Yeah. Well, you haven't really been much around, and then it's just hard. Like a lot of this, reading through this, a lot of the stuff that we learned at Runefest, we'd already learned from Mod Jack telling us explicitly in our CC.
Oh, yeah.
And like even not just Mod Jack, like a lot of this information was stuff we had before.
Yeah. It's a lot of the stuff that we'd already known and just kind of took it to a little bit deeper of a level and telling us explicitly that there is a quest where we are bringing Zeros back, I guess technically if we so choose. I don't think we're actually going to have a choice as to whether he comes back or not.
I think you just choose how powerful he comes back or what he comes back as.
Yeah, I do realize that over half the section is the podcast we never covered.
Yeah.
But we have talked about Zeros many times.
I'm just unlucky. Oh well.
Yeah.
Someday.
The other thing that really burns is even if I don't support Zeros, I almost just kind of want to let him come back and see what happens.
Yeah, that's totally what I feel like.
Like, I'm a Amascutian at heart. Get that chaos. Zamorak, but at the same time, I have pledged my support to Saren, and it's kind of like, well, I shouldn't let him come back, but God, it's just so interesting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean,
I'm on very good terms in game with this Zerosian Majrat.
Just say you're possessed or something.
I have so many justifications for why I did what I did in Temple. It isn't even.
Yeah.
And none of them are really working.
No.
Like,
and especially now that I am officially Serenist, I'm sitting there like, how did I help Azanadra at all? Back up in that temple.
Yeah.
But same time,
just ask Malik; he'll help you.
Template says he's an alternate.
I do want to mention before we finish up this section on Zeros, and once again, if there's anything that we missed, let us know, and we'll cover it next time, because I'm sure there's stuff that people want to hear and that we just missed, but we're running out of time.
Can I say one last thing on Zeros?
Not until I say one last thing.
Okay.
It is worth mentioning that Zeros, after he was incorporated, I'm not sure if that's even a word, he wasn't even able to think or do anything. It took him a very long time to pull himself back together. So
he's not been plotting for as long as we thought he had.
Yeah.
So maybe the Book of Zeros is all just guessing. I mean, if it took him so long, was he really ever communicating with them?
I considered the Book of Zeros just to be a book of hallucinations. There was nothing there after the spell.
It's emptiness?
Yeah, it's empty.
Anyways, Lime, what did you want to say?
Apparently Zeros has a tendency for leaving worlds ruined.
Yeah.
Like, Pandemonium is apparently broken. Vampirium is apparently broken. Renescape, I'd assume, is broken.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But does he necessarily break them?
He profiteers up their breaking, maybe.
That sounds like a Bandosian thing to do, not a Zerosian.
They said that the races that he sides with, how one of the players said they were evil, the J-Mons were like, but are they? Maybe there's something that draws them to Zeros. That isn't, like, villainy per se. But, like, a similarity.
Well, that's
I don't know.
Should we get on to the random stats for mana?
Yeah, we'll
stats for mana.
Yeah, we'll talk about a couple of the random little things in route to finishing this up. Madana, during her segment, she did provide a few stats on quest choices. 4.2% killed Fiara and 2.4% killed Therisk in the World Wakes.
I didn't know you could kill Therisk.
Yeah, that's 4.2%. Oops.
I'm in the majority, baby.
Woo!
40% of people
I was
killed
guideless
Reese.
and didn't kill them, so suck it.
Yeah.
40% of people killed Reese in the Blood Pact. I don't even remember that.
Really?
I didn't kill him. I don't know why.
I don't know. I don't even
did.
remember what I did.
I think I said he was crazy and just let him kill himself. I don't know. It was a long time ago.
Yeah, I let him kill himself. I remember that specifically.
More people sacrificed Jessica than Karazi in the Void Stares Back. I sacrificed Jessica.
She was annoying.
Damn it, Geena.
I mean, Karazi was there from the get-go.
Live though.
I sacrificed Karazi because I have a soft spot for scientists.
No.
Yeah. Oh my.
No,
Anyways, in the World Wakes, only 4.5% killed Gothics.
The whole quest was kind of
63%.
slanted against killing him for any reason.
63% decided to protect him, and 32% woke him up.
Wow.
I blame Abby.
Guess which group Anna was in?
She probably killed him.
Yeah.
Well, she did.
She did, regardless.
But she did mention that something about that's a kind of a biased number though, because pretty much everything in the quest up until the end was leaning towards not killing Gothics. So it's hard to say.
Somebody
I just wanted to wake him up to talk to him. Yeah, I wasn't
Amen. That's what I wanted to do. I was talking about that on Twitter. I was like, well, I just wanted to talk to him. Why is that a crime?
I think I chose Protect, though.
I just...
Did you go back to sleep?
Bandos only got 2.1% of people agreeing with him in Missing Presumed Death, compared to 9% for Armadillo, GG Bandos in the Next World event, and 24% for Eclairin, and apparently 21% for Gothics.
My God, on top.
Yeah.
24%
Florence for...
Okay.
Actually, I feel like Missing Presumed Death was the most relevant he's ever been in a long time, and I think it was so perfectly set up for them too, because of the antagonistic relationships Liski and Ictharin have.
Yep.
So that was really, really good design from them.
It's my turn to say this yet?
Go for it.
I'm the 0.1%.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Welcome to the 0.1%.
Which one is the 0.1%?
Slisky.
Oh. Yeah,
Yep.
I was like looking on there, I'm like, I don't even see a stat. Oh.
Yeah.
It's so
Exactly.
It's so
yeah.
low, they didn't even mention it.
In the God Emissaries, once again, you have 22.8% for Zeros. Going down the list, you have 14.7% for Armadillo, and 7.4% for Bandos. So once again, GG Bandos in the Next World event.
If Bandos shows up at all, like even if they do a cameo where she's like, Bandos sucks, Bandos is toast for the people that have done her quest series.
Who?
And even the Godless,
Xanath.
the Godless are actually the lowest faction aside from Slisky. No, Slisky's up there too. The Godless are the
Slisky's at
lowest.
9.5, Saren's at 7.6, and the Godless are at 7.4.
I was really
underneath Bandos.
Saren is.
I can
Apparently, if you add
just
it all
imagine
up,
this.
it's 101%, so it's actually 7.3 or something.
Well,
Yeah,
Rounding.
when you add up the numbers.
Wow.
The Death of
blue is the
Chivalry
most
stats are
popular
really
color of
interesting, too.
Wizard in the Rune Mysteries.
You're a wizard, Harry.
Gina, natural red.
Yep,
I
Gina,
tied. So
Gina Nat Red. I'm gray.
I'm
I
glad
got time
green.
between gray and green, so
I got
just
gray
like,
on
eh.
both of my accounts by accident.
I got gray.
And after the Birthright of the Dwarves, 48.1% have King Veldeban still as the leader. 38%, including myself, have the Consortium. And 14% killed Veldeban and have the Drunken Dwarf. Anna was sad that so few killed Veldeban. God damn it,
But it
Anna.
was like so. It was.
How
it would
is
have been so
Anna
stupid to just
possible?
kill Veldeman. You're just like,
Like,
you're a dick. Go die. Was the option you basically had to get to kill him.
Yeah.
Anna confused
He's just
me
like, kill me.
because she's like
You're like,
so
nope.
soft spoken and so nice, and yet deep
Yeah.
down she's got this like dark.
She's a
malicious-
Gina?
Age, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, she has a very noticeable affinity for pets.
Yes.
Yes.
Anyways, and then one more last thing in the Dragons Decide section.
Yep.
Apparently they voted on a Barbarian Assault rework.
Yeah.
I am
Darn.
disappointed.
Ew.
That is
Darn.
all I will say about that.
Well,
See, do we know what all the other ideas were though?
I didn't watch it.
I haven't either.
But
I mean, I'm
whatever.
a friendly fan,
Anyways,
and I'm not exactly thrilled about that either.
It depends on what they do with it, because it needs the rework, I'll be totally honest. Especially now that we have the bonus XP tidy up, it's actually pretty valuable in the first place.
Yeah.
So, reworking it could just give it more viability.
yeah.
And hopefully reworking it will encourage them to rework stuff like Soul Wars.
Yep, maybe.
Yeah, Soul Wars has been deserted lately.
Yeah. There was a big Reddit event a couple days ago just to give it some life, but... Yeah.
Alright, well, anyways, I think that covers everything that we wanted to cover without
Going over.
too much
Yep.
stuff that we missed. If there is stuff, again, let
Wait,
us
you
know.
forgot-
What?
You forgot about the great new skill. Slavery.
Oh dear.
That's right.
No.
We also forgot to add penguins in. But
There
Yeah,
was
but-
there was kind of a reference in the beginning, but
there
it
was
was
there were
short-lived.
we were
Penguins
we
are
were
always there. You don't
we were
have to
very
say-
Maybe
disappointed
go
that there were no
back to
penguins
the
at Runefest.
There was a penguin at Runefest. You just have to find them.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
exactly.
was
I mean,
he was in the
there was-
stocks.
Yeah,
There
well,
was-
there was
there
someone.
Plan, stop telling everybody.
There was someone in a penguin suit or hoodie or something at the Dragons Decide thing. There was a penguin
Yep.
in the stocks, and there's this statue of a penguin. I don't know where that came from, but it was a
Yeah.
thing.
I wonder if you can turn them in for XP.
I wish.
Eh.
But yeah, I think that pretty much covers everything that we wanted to mention about all of this. So, this has been actually slightly shorter than I was expecting, but that was because I'm in a time crunch right now. You can blame me for cutting it off a little bit, but so
Oh well.
this has been our Runefest Seercast. It is a doozy. It is going to be split up into two parts. If you missed the first part, it is going to be linked in the video right now.
Big flashing on your screen. You cannot
Yeah.
miss it. If
Yeah,
you do,
probably.
It'll be
turn on
ginormous.
notifications.
Yeah,
It's like
and-
seeing Bandos in the sunrise. You can't miss it.
Yeah. But
And
yeah,
just
so
prancing across the sunrise.
You know it.
Big as an elder god.
thanks to everybody for listening to us for as long as you did, as long as you put up with us, and we will be back in
Oh,
when I don't think there's a whole lot else this month. It might be 2-3 weeks if we didn't miss stuff that people rage at us about.
Yeah, unless
So-
Barrels Deluxe release.
See how many more things Mod Jack says.
Before.
Yeah, we might have a whole podcast on Mod Jack stuff at the end. Who knows?